Hi, Bobbie.
Hello.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start.
Thanks, Kassar. Oh, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on
What happened to your camera?
what happened to my camera. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe I just reversed it. Switch camera. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kassar. Might have taken a little longer for me to figure that out. For sure. So anyway, begin again, fin again. So welcome everyone to a seated, adapted
Hard
yoga.
on the beach.
So I'm just going to move in and put myself on gallery so I can have a better view. Yeah, my name is Bobbie. I'm a yoga therapist and totally crazy in love with teaching adaptive yoga. And so I've been on this path for several years. And so sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. I'm a bit of a turtle, but here I is. And I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to share an adaptive yoga practice with you. So an invitation now to find a space where you feel that you are supporting your own spine. And so come away, if possible, from the back of the chair enough so that you feel that you're sitting forward on your sits bones. If you're needing extra support, a few of my favorite be your back would be a rolled up yoga mat. And so any old yoga mat, depending on what size you need, or it could be something, a rolled up yoga mat at the back of your spine. Alternatively, I know that some of you have amazing chairs and wheelchair users, and your chairs are set up especially for you. And so an invitation now to make sure that there's nothing around you that you might whack because that will hurt. We are going to be moving and into maybe places we've forgotten to have places. And so the ability to spread your wings and feel comfortable still. And so an invitation now to soften your gaze. So eyes might move downwards. Ground down to your sits bones. You notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Our Buddha belly is soft. Spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down. Just a few times. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Lift up through the crown of your head. Maybe imagine that you have a thread on the crown of your head, top of your head, and it's pulling you up to the sky. Our chin is level with the floor, tucked in slightly. If it works for you, you could take 2 fingers to your chin, imagine a turtle. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our attention moves inward. Notice your alignment, knees, ankles, hips, shoulders stacked over our hips. And then we're ready, an invitation to bring a gentle awareness to your breath. And maybe noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. So if possible, if you'd like to take your hand to your Buddha belly, the other to your heart center. And then to maybe notice the pattern of movement of your breath between your torso and belly. And so just a reminder to folks that if you are not on mute, if everyone could mute themselves, that'd be awesome. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. So when we lengthen our exhale, it engages the relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. And then lastly, an invitation to see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine that you just tasted something delicious. If you have a fur baby, you might imagine that you're petting your fur kid. And see if you can bring that same softness to areas of your body that you feel are tight or knotted. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. And just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, an invitation to keep this simple breathing technique flowing. So if it's challenging to focus on the breath, maybe explore bringing your awareness to the sounds around you. Sound is always in the present moment. I can hear the sound of a vehicle off on the next road over. Oh, maybe it's on the old road in front of our cabin. approaching fast and moving fast. I can hear the more subtle sound of my inhale through my nostrils. And then maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice, and in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. Our old friend, our breath. So as ready, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And drop your chin towards your chest. Gradually blink your eyes open. And so we are falling awake, not asleep. And so I have a dear friend. So if that phrase works for you, I have another friend who takes a class and he prefers becoming awakened, not falling asleep. So if what I share with you resonates, wonderful. But know that everything I share with you today is by invitation. You are the expert on your own body. And so if just a bit of housekeeping, I am going to be teaching outdoors as long as possible. And so, of course, we're doing our practice from home. And so an invitation to find a space maybe where you're least distracted. And of course, we have children and pets and partners and all the goings on that goes on in a person's life. So an invitation to temper that with that knowing. And so let's repose. So ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles to your feet. We want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. So you might do a little bum dance, or pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. So in a way, when we're seated in the chair, today we're going to do our entire practice seated in the chair. Our sits bones act like the feet of our pose. Spine is long, shoulders back and down. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. You take a moment to explore which feels better, resting your palms face up or resting your palms face down. So if you're feeling tired today, an invitation to explore resting your palms face up, open to receive. If you are feeling restless, scattered, palms face down can encourage a grounding sensation. And tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, we'll come into a gentle movement practice to release the tension in our neck and our shoulders. And pardon me. Pardon me. So if anything I share with you, pardon me, I just have to get a little bit of water. I just happen to have 2 drops. So if it, pardon me, if it doesn't feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel right, skip it, come back to your breath. So when we're focused on our breath, we're practicing yoga. If it feels painful, An invitation to, if you would like, explore, is the pain you're feeling muscle ache because we're moving into places that maybe we forgot we have places, or is it joint pain? Is it a joint pain? So if it's a joint pain, that's a no-fly zone. So I want you to come out of the pose or the movement, make sure you're taking care of yourself. And of course, I trust that you are. Lastly, an invitation to explore visualizing the movement. And so feel as though you are doing it. That might be a nice starting point. So away we go. We're sitting up nice and tall. And an invitation to bring your chin gently towards your chest. And then moving your head up and down slightly in your own time and rhythm. So maybe your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. You might notice that saliva begins to pool. And so that's an indication that our nervous system's moving away from fight or flight or going a million miles an hour to a more balanced place. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral and turn a soft gaze looking just past your shoulder. Pause, visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. So imagination is powerful. As ready, move your head back through center, turn a soft gaze looking past your opposite shoulder. Pause, visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. As ready, bring your head back to neutral. And if it feels okay for you, moving your head from side to side. So is your belly soft? Is your breath quiet? And so alternatively, if you'd like to place a hand on the side of your head, it might feel good. One back. Center. And so I'm realizing that part of what's going on for me right now is that somebody's burning firewood and I'm not used to it. And so some of you know we've had our first rains on the West Coast. So not complaining, just an awareness, thankful. And yeah, that someone is my husband. And so here we go. We've moved our neck through its range of motion. Now we're going to move down along our spine. And so coming into a movement called cat and cow. Place your hands on your lap or wherever feels comfortable for you. And then as you draw your hands in towards your hips, lift your heart, lift your throat. On exhale, as you round your back, slide your hands towards your knees, chin in. So inhale, arch. This is the cow piece. On exhale, round. So you round your back, navel in towards your spine. This is the cat. So a happy cat. And so in your own time and rhythm for a few more breaths, keeping this gentle warm up for your spine flowing. So move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that your movements and your breath become one. So as you're practicing your movement, I'm going to turn sideways on my chair in hopes that this will give a better visual for some folks who might be new to the practice. And then as you're ready, come on back to a neutral spine. Take a moment. Let your breath settle. And then an invitation now to actually sliding your hands in towards your hips. And into a gentle twist. So this is a gentle twist. We're not going into our full range of motion. So sliding our hands, which might feel natural for you, towards your hips and knee, helps to increase our proprioceptive awareness. So big phrase for knowing where our body is in relation to space. And then it's ready. Come on back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms down by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice any subtle sensations. Trust that the sensations are there. It's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky. And then moving on, holding on to the side of the chair, reach towards the floor. So as if you're reaching to pick something up. And so maybe inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. And if it works for you, maybe imagine that you're seated between two panes of glass. So shoulders stacked over shoulder. If you need to move your feet at all to feel a little more stable, go for it. So a gentle reminder, we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And then as ready, come on back to a neutral spine. Take a moment and then tap your fingers. So if you'd like to play a brain game, maybe explore moving from your pinkies to your thumbs. So micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. And then as ready, maybe air piano. And then turn your palms face up. Turn your palms face down. Notice which feels better for you. And then an invitation to explore palms face up. And I'm going to have my hands up high now so that hopefully those of you who are watching me online can see me. If it feels better for whatever reason to have your hands lower, go for it. And so, so now an invitation to circle your wrists in one direction. You do one at a time if you'd like, two at a time. So this is your yoga practice. And reverse. So you might notice that one wrist is tighter than the other. As human beings, we tend to be a little tighter on one side. And then when you're ready, stretch your fingers, create some space between your fingers. Release. Stretch your fingers and release and stretch, release. And now see if you can take all your fingertips to your thumbs. So they might touch, they might not. So what's important is that we are moving in that direction. So fingertips towards our thumbs. And when we do that, we're engaging all the little muscles in our hands. So stretch. Fingertips towards or to your thumbs. And I think this time, resting your hands on your lap, and let's explore doing one wrist at a time. and reverse. So noticing, change sides. Does it feel a little different on one side than the other? Okay, and so now when you're ready, I want you to imagine that you're preparing. So it's Halloween. Let's imagine we're witches if you'd like, male or female. And that we need to chop some wood because we have our cauldron, the fire, whatever it is. And then, so I want you to imagine that you're assigned wood to prepare. And then let's see how it feels on the other side. Assigned wood. And then when you're ready, so we have our big old pot of soup on the stove, and I want you to imagine that you're stirring your soup. And then reverse. And then switch sides, stirring the pot. And reverse. We'll shake out and take a moment. Right, you do a little bum dance, maybe shake your legs, tap your feet. So, gentle reminder that for the sensations I hope you experience in your yoga practice is, first of all, grounding. And so, grounding. So Matthew Sanford, who some of you know, would suggest that you have to go down to go up. So ground. And so expansion, rhythm. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. That tends to diminish as we get older for might be some other reason. And we want to keep our sense of rhythm. And so balance, grounding, expansion, rhythm. So that's my hope for you today, that you experience in your practice in your own way. So let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor or on your footrests. Sits bones are sharp on the chair, spine is long, shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. Imagine the thread on top of your head and it's pulling you up to the sky if you like. Our chin is tucked in slightly. Level with the floor. And so from here, an invitation to bring your hands together, rub your hands together, or shake your hands, whatever feels good. If your hands are cold, you might want to shake your hands. Right? And then reaching up a little higher, waving to our ancestors. And coming forward a little, reaching up to the sky. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms hold down by your side or wherever feels comfortable for you. And one more time, reaching up to the sky. And this time, making an audible sound, a mar, ha, ah. So inhale, spiral your palms open, reaching up to the sky, reaching up as high as feels comfortable for you. Palms face down, ma, if you'd like to honor Mother Earth. Ma. Come on back, seated comfortably, nice and tall. Spiral your palm open. If it feels okay for your neck, gazing past your middle finger. As you bring your arm up to your place. Exhale, ma. Other side, so whatever we practice on one side, we do on the other if possible. So inhale, you're either keeping your gaze forward if you have sore neck or maybe gazing to the side. Ma. Both arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Reach up to the sky. Ma. And so inhale, extend your arms out to the side, making soft fists. So making soft fists, bringing our hands back to our heart center. Can be good if you have arthritis in your hands. So taking your hands to your heart center or maybe your Buddha belly. And so moving with your breath, extend your arms up and away. So my arms feel okay, a little lower than my shoulders. Today, yours might be higher or lower. Soft fists, hands to your heart center or your Buddha belly. And so moving into practice meditation on the heart. An invitation, if you'd like, to keep this gentle movement flowing. And on your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the radiant light of the sun all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale. And this time, if you'd like, making an M sound, bumblebee breath. So bumblebee breath is a classic yogic breathing technique. And so you might notice as we make the bumblebee breath sound, it lengthens our exhale. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And maybe notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Shake out. So I'm just going to move into the iPad a little bit, just so I have a better idea who is live online. And Kassar is my wonderful tech host, just so you know. And if anything comes up for you, it's kind of like pants on fire, please feel free to text it in the chat, and Kassar, my tech host, will speak to it. Alternatively, at the end of the class, I'll be spending a few moments totally open to having a conversation with you live with any questions or feedback. So here we go. So repose. Feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest. It's bone sharp on the chair. Spine is long, shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. Our chin's tucked in slightly level with the floor. And so when you're ready now, an invitation to bring your arm out to the side, spiral your palm open, and then spiral your palm down. So thumb rotates down towards the earth, soft bending your elbow, palm face up. So in your own time and rhythm, and then maybe explore, how does it feel to reach up a little higher? And then palm face down, imagine, if you'd like, that you're moving your hand through honey. So golden honey. Spiral your palm open, reach up towards the sky. Palm face down, moving your hand through golden honey. And then let's switch sides. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other, if possible. And so it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. So as you're ready, bring your arm down to the side, spiral your palm open and down. Maybe notice which feels better for you. And then an invitation to spiral your palm open with a soft bend in your elbow, maybe moving up a little higher. Keeping this gentle movement flowing. And then as if you're moving your hand through honey, float your hand down. And so one more time, reaching up to the sky, up to your place. Palm face down, release. Shake up. So the focus of the class today, neck and shoulders. That said, I don't know anyone these days that isn't holding a lot of tension in their neck and shoulders. We will be moving through all the major joints, I promise. If I forget or get distracted, please chime in. I'm certainly open to any suggestions. So this is your yoga practice. And so let's continue. So reaching your arm up to the sky, spiral your palm open with a soft bend in your elbow, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. So if my breathing suggestions don't work for you, breathe in your own time and rhythm. So reach up, spiral your palm open. If it feels okay for your neck, gazing past your middle finger, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. And so let's repeat the gentle movement a few more times. This time adding a sound to the movement. And so the sound is shh, shh on the exhale. So inhale through the nose if possible. If you're congested, you have an obstruction, of course, breathe in whatever way you can. So here we go. Reach up, spiral your palm open. If it feels okay for your neck, extend your arm away from you, making a shh sound. Breathing in, come back center, palm face down, release. So other side, float your arm up, spiral your palm open, moving with grace and ease, extend your arm away from you. Shh. Inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. And so I'd like to give you an alternative for a sound. And so I love exploring sound to minimize pain. And so also I have what's called an intention tremor. And so when I get particularly excited for whatever reason, could be anxiety, I tend to shake a little more. And so I've, with lived experience, have learned that yes, sound can calm my tremor. And so not sure what's going on for everyone. I'm not out there in the abyss. And so don't take my word for it, investigate, notice how you feel. So the alternative sound would be so, hum. So, hum. And then come back center, palm face down, release. Inhale, so, hum. The idea is that we're lengthening our exhale. So we don't want our inhale to be longer than our exhale. So you can choose M, making a bumblebee sound, or sh, so, or hum. So you have lots of choice. So I like to think of it as a buffet. Choose what feels like a good fit for you. So here we go, reaching up, spiral your palm open, exhale, making your sound. Moving with your breath, we'll meet back center, palm face down, release. Other side, float your arm up, spiral your palm open. On exhale, Inhale, come back center, palm face down. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels comfortable for you. Do a little shakeout. So I'm going to keep my wool hat handy. My hands kind of vacillate between cold and not. So maybe we should rub your palms together, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, warm. Do a little shakeout, maybe open and close. You reach your hands up a little higher if you'd like, keeping the open and close. So if you come into mountain and you shake your hands, this can warm up your hands. Okay. And so I'd like to invite you now to take your hands, your beautiful hands, to wherever you're in your body you feel like you're holding stress or tension, and see if you can take some of that loving energy, in mitts or not, in a hat or not, to that place where you're holding tension. And then shake your hands or rub your hands together again, warm up your hands. And I want you to notice, find a new place and take your hands there. Open to receive, so self-nurturing. And release, a little shake out. Now I'd like you to take your hands in front of you. Close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And then maybe notice if you feel any subtle sensations between your hands. So your hands might move out a little further and closer together. So there's no right or wrong. Right? So you might feel something, you might not. And then come on back and release. So I'd like from here to transition into a yoga breathing technique called breath of joy. And so for this, we're going to add arm movements. So again, make sure that there's nothing around you that you potentially can whack, might hurt. And so the inhale is through the nose. So we're sniffing 3 times in through our nose, and then it's an exhale. And so you can add arm movements to it or not. If you want to look for the first 3 times, up to you. And so here we go. Inhale, 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 and drop. So here we go. Inhale, breath of joy. Inhale, inhale, and drop. One more time. Inhale, 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 and drop. Whew. A little shake out again. And so I'd like you to take your hands closer together. And again, maybe noticing any subtle sensations. Further apart. And so spiral your palms open, reach up to the sky, maybe feeling a lightness. And palms face down, a grounding sensation. So one more time, inhale, reach up to the sky. Turning your gaze up if that doesn't create tension in your neck, and then palms face down. Take your arm out to the side, spiral your palm open, rotate your thumb down. And then with a soft bend in your elbow, reach your arm up to the sky. And palms face down, release. So other side. So I like to think of these gentle movements as a moving meditation. Palm face down. Arms by your side, reaching up to the sky. This time, bring your hands together in prayer down through to the heart. So bowing our head towards our heart gives us a little nerve flossing for our neck. Release your arms by your side, spiral your palms open. This time with a soft bend in your elbows, take your hands to your heart center or your Buddha belly, where you can reach comfortably. And then reaching up to the sky, so gentle back arch. Hinging from your hips, come into a forward fold. So lead with the heart, not the head, taking hold of the underside of your chair. Walk your feet forward a little bit if need be. And then pushing down through your inner heels, rest your forearms on your lap. Lift up through the crown of your head. And then as ready, placing your hands on your thighs, or wherever feels comfortable for you. Draw your elbows in, lift your heart, lift your throat. And then as ready, sliding your hands towards your knees. Remember, sliding your hands along your thighs increases proprioceptive awareness. Round your back, chin in. Flowing with your breath, draw your hands towards your hips, lift your heart, lift your throat, arch your back. On exhale, round your back. As you round your back, slide your hands towards your knees. Chin in. Flowing with your breath, come back to a neutral spine. If you'd like and it's available to you, tuck your toes under the front of the chair. So you need to be fairly forward in your chair to do this. So today it might be that you're visualizing the movement. If you'd like to add the opposite arm, reach up to the sky. Float your arm down, step your foot forward. So feet are about hip distance apart. Come into a forward fold. So nice flat back. You might have soft fists in your hips, maybe holding on to the underside of the chair. Chin tucked in slightly. Rest your forearms on your lap. Push down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Then placing your hands on your thighs, draw your hands in towards your hips, lift your heart, lift your throat. And then as you're ready, round your back. As you round your back, slide your hands towards your knees, chin in. So inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Flowing with your breath, come on back to a neutral spine. This time an invitation to tuck your opposite foot underneath the front of your chair, toes tucked under, and the opposite arm if you like, reaching up to the sky. So it could be gold pose, palm face forward, or palm face in. Remember your little Buddha smile, half smile. So we smile, it's contagious. And then float your arm down. Step your foot forward, hinging from the hips. Spiral your palms open, chin in. Reach up to the sky. And maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And maybe notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. So a little shake out again. Just gonna check the time. So we have a few more moments. I'd like you to, before we come into your guided meditation and final relaxation, the dessert part. So repose, right? Do a little bum dance. Feet are firmly on the floor, on your footrest. And so we are going to come into some of the movements of the spine. And so, of course, we know our spines matter. So let's come into a side bend. And so I'd like you to take hold of the underside of your chair. Alternatively, if you are a wheelchair user, you might have an armrest that you can rest your forearm on, palm up or down, or taking hold of the wheel, whatever works for you. And so when you're ready, release your arm by your side, spiral your palm open. So I'll give you a few buffet choices. So if you have a sore shoulder today, taking your hand to your shoulder might be the pose for you. Placement, hand placement. Alternatively, it might feel okay to reach up and over. So we're avoiding collapsing forward. You roll that shoulder back, sit up tall, come into your side bend. Alternatively, it might feel Like the best placement for your hand is on your hip, right? Soft fist if you have sore thumb or wrist, and coming into the pose from that place. So today I'm going to choose to place my hand on my shoulder as I come up. And so here we go. So we begin always by sitting up tall. Take hold of the underside of your chair wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. Release your opposite arm by your side. Spiral your palm open. Soft bend in your elbow, nothing rigid. Take your arm to your place. Turn your gaze down towards the floor if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then come into your side bend. Breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? As ready, slowly come out of the pose on this side. And so, whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. Take hold of the underside of your chair. Release your opposite arm by your side. Take your arm, your hand to your place. Turn your gaze down towards the floor and then come into your side bend. Keep your sits bones on the chair. Can you feel you're creating space in your rib cage? And slowly come out of the pose on this side. So one more time on each side. Maybe notice if you feel a little shift. Gaze down towards the earth. Take your arm to your place. Come into your side bend. And release. So other side. In your own time and rhythm. And then come on out of the pose. We'll shake out again. So, reminder not to resist any urges. So if you need to leave the space for whatever reason to take care of yourself, you have my blessing and you're come back or not, up to you. If you feel dizziness, nausea, or pain in any of the movements, please come out of the pose or the movement. And if you're able to, let me know, indicate. Alternatively, if you're home alone, you might just want to come back to your breath. And so when we focus on our breath, we are practicing yoga. There's always an alternative. So it might be focus on the breath, might be that you're visualizing the movement. And so when you're ready, repose. Feet are grounded, sits bones sharp on the chair, arms by your side. And so this time, let's come into a seated twist. And so seated twists can be contraindicated depending on how we come into them. So if you know you have osteopenia, osteoarthritis, maybe something else going on with your spine, you know that it's contraindicated to go to a deep place, please honor that. And so when you're ready, inhale, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, reach across to your opposite knee or thigh, wherever you can reach comfortably. If your knees have the tendency to rotate inwards, so you can keep your knees in line with your ankles. Take your other hand beside you on the chair behind you. And so you can see that we're already into the twist at this point. So this might be your pose today. Maybe you'd like to explore going a little deeper. So we'd inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, twist. See if you can resist the urge to move your head to its full range of motion. Soft Buddha belly, quiet breath. Then come out of the pose. Take a moment, and we'll come into it on the other side. So inhale, lengthen your spine so we can create space in our vertebrae. Reach across to the outside of your knee or thigh. Maybe it's on the inside of the knee that you're moving away from. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. So begin from the base of your spine, moving up through the vertebrae. Head turns last. And unwind. So let's rock and roll, reach up to the sky. Breathing in on the exhale, twist. So in your own time and rhythm for a few more breaths, for as long as feels comfortable. Moving. In and out of your twist. So come into the twist on the exhale, otherwise you're wasting your time. Finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to the neutral spine. And so we only have a few more moments. So the side bends, twist, pretty intense spinal movements. So I'd like you to take hold of the underside of your chair. And so if you know balance is a challenge for you, we are going to be coming forward a little. And so make sure you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. So as ready, hold the underside of your chair, hinging from the hips, come forward. So if you need to, for stability, walk your feet forward a little bit. Alternatively, it might feel good to have a yoga mat rolled along your blanket or along your booty belly. Let your head hang slightly to release the back of your neck. And maybe you have a bolster if you're blessed with some kind of bolster on your lap that might work well. And then breathe into your lower back. You might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. And slowly as ready, pushing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Place one hand on each of your thigh. And come on back up to a comfortable seated place to finish up your yoga practice today with a short final relaxation. And so get what you need to stay warm. We'll just be here for a moment or two. And so just going to grab my sweater, my blanket. Cedar is slippery when wet, so I'm going to be walking very judiciously. I'm a bit of a stumble bum, so I have to compensate for that. And so my favorite sweater these days, picked it up at a consignment store, saw it hanging there. I thought, oh, that must belong to a princess. It's way too small for me. And I tried it on, it fits great. I only paid a few shekels for it. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, favorite blankie, sweater, even if you have a pet, to cuddle. As long as you're comfortable. And so I'm actually going to put this behind my back. And so shoulders back and down. Adjust your lighting, do whatever you need to do. And so roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. So not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Eyes are closed softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze. So soft palms, soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose, serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. It's challenging to focus the mind. Placing our hands on our Buddha belly, bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring a gentle awareness to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs if you'd like, and come on up seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. Thank you. Notice how you feel before and after your yoga practice. Questions or feedback, feel free to hang out. And if I can answer the question, I will. If not, I'll do my best to find the answers. And thank you, Kasar, my tech host, amazing dude, ConnecTogether, and the Disability Foundation, always for providing this opportunity for me to teach, to share this amazing gift of yoga, and to, yeah, I guess that's it.
Bobbie,
Go.
I'm going to send you an email to tell you how you can get a pair of these fantastic fingerless gloves. They're amazing.
Oh,
Good idea.
thank you.
Yeah.
I have
There's a
some.
special fiber in them that warms your hands.
Oh,
Ooh. Maybe, can you put it in the chat? There might be some other folks
Well,
interested.
I'll have to do some research. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
awesome.
gonna put my chair a little closer so I can actually see a little better.
Thanks, Bobbie. Gotta run. Hey.
All right, woo!
Oh,
See?
Oh, good thing I do yoga.
Be careful.
Yeah, I learned, do you know those funky, ugly shoes that everybody wears, the sandals, that if, could morph into something different if you heated them? That they're funny shoes. They've got holes in them. Anyway, a friend of mine warned me about that about wearing them on cedar. And sure enough, so slow sometimes. But I was being super duper careful today to set myself up so I wouldn't do what I just did. It's like a skating rink. So anyway, I'm grateful that I didn't fall and that I did buy a new pair of rain boots, gum boots yesterday. And so anyway, enough about me. I'm catching my breath. Falls are scary and they're not fun unless, I don't know, you're into bungee jumping or something. But Morning Star, can I say hello for a moment?
Sure. Hi, how are you? Can you see me?
Yeah, you've been in my heart and my mind. I can see you. And I'm wondering if what I shared with you 2 classes ago was helpful at all.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I found it really helpful.
Cool.
I'm really enjoying this process. So
Right on.
Yeah.
So can you actually tip your iPad down a little bit if that's possible? So
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, beautiful eyes, but
I can't see myself. I'm trying to keep it because my house is in. I'm not by myself, so I'm trying.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Years ago, a kid was saying, he was a young lad, and it was like, how can you tell it's a Zoom room or something? It's like the only place in the house that's tidy.
Oh, yeah.
It's the actual room. The rest of the house is total mess. So that's been my story until a couple days ago, really. So I appreciate the great outdoors and Mother Earth and just naturally beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. So I do have some information I'd like to share with you at some point. If you wanted to contact me anytime, please do. And is your preferred name Morningstar, or I think you shared your given name?
I go by Morningstar. Well, that is my given name, but I go by Morningstar or Star, so it doesn't really matter.
Or
Whatever.
Star. I have another friend named Star, but I love Morningstar because I'm a moon baby child. So anyway, I see others. If you want to say anything, my heart's open, my mind.
Just thank
I
you.
have to jump off because I have to go. I'm working from home, so I have to jump back on the other computer, the work computer. So thank you for today. It's great.
Bye, Morningstar.
I will reach out to you.
Right on.
Thank you.
I feel like a Smurf.
It's that time of year.
It is.
Thank you, Bobbie.
You're welcome, love. So it's Teresa, correct?
Yes, I found today I just sort of recognized the work that I need to do. Well, not work, but the practice.
Sure.
In the grace of the rotation of the wrists and moving through. I mean, it was the flow. It's recognizing that there's a flow. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
All right. Take care.
That means I did my job, right, Kassar?
Yeah, you did do it very nicely.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you also, Kathar.
I'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Bobbie.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Boy, I'm sure glad I didn't fall on my butt. How embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it would have been